Every summer, it was the same thing. The Martinez family reunion at Riverside Park. Same food, same folding chairs, same show. And when I say show, I mean it. My cousins pulling in with cars that looked like they came straight off a magazine cover, wearing clothes that screamed how much they cost, talking just loud enough so you couldn't miss the part about their new vacation place or how their portfolio was performing nicely this year. My aunts and uncles would be circling, trading stories about their kids like they were bartering rare baseball cards. And right in the middle of it all would be Uncle Bob, waiting for me to arrive so he could remind everyone in case they'd somehow forgotten that I was the family's biggest disappointment. That year was no different, at least not at first. I parked my 10-year-old Honda Civic in a line of shiny chrome and luxury paint jobs, wearing jeans and a button-down that had seen better days, holding a cooler full of plain turkey and cheese sandwiches I'd made the night before. Through the windshield, I could see the usual little vignettes of family success theater: Derek with his new Porsche, Aunt Carmen tilting her wrist so the light caught the diamonds just right, and Uncle Bob planted near the picnic tables, already telling someone how he'd built his construction company from nothing. He's my dad's older brother, and after my father passed, he took over as self-appointed head of the family, part patriarch, part judge, part unfiltered commentator on everyone else's choices. He liked to say he'd made himself into something despite being poor, which is fine, but he also liked to use that as a yardstick against the rest of us, especially me. As soon as I walked up, the noise dipped just a little, not out of respect, but because the opening act of their favorite annual performance was about to begin. Well, Bob said loud enough for people at the next picnic table to hear. Look who decided to grace us with his presence, our little Miguel, still living the dream in that tiny apartment. And there it was, the first jab. "Hi, Uncle Bob," I said, setting the cooler down, taking the handshake that felt like it was meant to test my bone density. "Good to see you." "Is it, though?" he said, with that smile that never reached his eyes. "Because last I heard, you're still at that clinic downtown, making what, 30, 40 grand a year? Paycheck to paycheck." I gave a shrug. "Something like that." He turned to the circle that had formed, warming up like a stand-up comic doing his best material. "You're 32, Miguel. Most men your age have a career, a house, maybe a couple of kids. Derek's got his own law practice, a place in Westfield, kids in private school. Carmen's daughter just made partner at her firm. Even Sophia's running her own marketing business now." Sophia smiled like she'd just won something. Then he looked at me again, like a prosecutor going for the final blow. "And you still living like a college student. What happened? Where did we go wrong with you?" Same script as every year. They never asked what I did at the clinic. Never seemed curious why I might choose it over something more lucrative. It was easier to let them believe what they wanted than to try to correct them. "I'm comfortable with my choices," I said, and that just made him laugh. "Comfortable is the enemy of success," he announced. That's when I saw the black sedan pull in, understated but expensive. I knew the driver instantly. Dr. Patricia Hendress, chief of surgery at Metropolitan General, and my mentor. She got out, silver hair pulled back, moving with the kind of quiet authority that made whole rooms straighten up without realizing it. I had no clue why she'd be here, but I was about to find out. "And Miguel here," Uncle Bob was saying, "is what's wrong with his generation. No ambition, no drive. Mr. Martinez, Dr. Hendress's voice was calm, but cut through his sentence like a scalpel. "That's me," Bob said, smiling like he'd just spotted someone important to impress. "I'm here for Dr. Martinez," she said, looking straight at me. "We have a situation at the hospital, multi-car accident coming in. I need our best trauma surgeon now." The silence that dropped over the group was almost funny. "Dr. Martinez?" Bob repeated. "Chief resident in trauma surgery," she confirmed. "Board certification next month. Then he'll be on staff as an attending surgeon. Starting salary $380 plus bonuses." She turned to me. "Can you meet me there in 30 minutes? Bring your surgical bag. This one's going to be tough." I nodded. "Of course." She looked back at Bob. "You should be proud. Your nephew's one of the finest surgeons I've worked with in 25 years. Then she left, and all that was left was the sound of people trying to process a truth they'd never considered. "You're a trauma surgeon?" Derek finally said. "That's right. But you said," Aunt Carmen started. "I said I worked at a clinic," I told her. "The trauma clinic. At one of the busiest ERs in the state." "Why didn't you tell us?" Sophia asked. Because you never asked, I said. You assumed. And you built your story about me around that. Bob shifted his weight. Miguel, I owe you an apology. What I want is respect, I said. Start asking before you judge. I checked my watch, time to go. Lives are waiting. As I walked back to my Civic, I heard the whispers starting a trauma surgeon for $100,000, tiny apartment on purpose. Practical, not failure. Driving out, my phone buzzed. Dr. Hendricks on the line. Hope I didn't cause too much drama. Nothing that wasn't coming, I told her. 20 minutes later, I was in scrubs, standing over a patient who had maybe half an hour left without intervention. 6 hours after that, I'd saved 3 lives, stabilized 4 others. And when I checked my phone, there were 17 missed calls, 43 texts, shock, pride, confusion. The last one was from Uncle Bob. I talked for years about building something meaningful. Turns out you've been doing it all along. I'm proud of you. Sorry it took this long. I smiled, put the phone away. Tomorrow I'd call him, maybe start over on new terms. Tonight, I was going home to my small apartment, not because I couldn't afford bigger, but because I didn't need it. Sometimes the most meaningful success isn't the kind you can park in a driveway or flash on your wrist. And sometimes the best revenge is just living well even when no one's paying attention. So tell me, was I wrong to let them think they had me figured out all these years? Or was it the only way they'd ever stop talking and start listening?